live. So welcome to TADHack Global 2019, where we review all the global and local winners. So what I'll do is I'll just like the three global sponsors here to quickly introduce themselves, and then I'll get to the slides and going through all the announcements. So Natalie, if you would introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everybody. My name is Natalie DiCario, and I'm the Marketing Manager at VoIP Innovations.
Thank you, Natalie. Ivan.
Hello, I'm Ivan. I'm a Software Development Manager at Telesign.
Thank you. And Simon.
Hi, guys. I'm Simon Woodhead. I'm the founder of Simwood.
Great. Thanks so much, guys. So let me share the slides where we can go through. There we go. All the winners. Let me put it onto big screen. There we go. Hopefully that is clear for everyone. So let me just quickly go through a little bit of, there we go. So first of all, of course, we have to thank the sponsors, Simwood, Telesign, VoIP Innovations, and their CPaaS platform, Apidays, for being the sponsors for this year's TADHack Global. And of course, an event the size of TADHack Global is not possible without lots of partners around the world. And just a few shout outs, MTN for a massive event, for Applice for doing amazing work in London, for Automat in Berlin, and VO Networks for the work they did, Cluster Creatic down in Popayán, and the many, many other partners, including the Illinois Institute of Technology, for providing us with such great facilities for TADHack Chicago. So more than we have time for, unfortunately, to announce. But what makes TADHack different is, first of all, diversity. We encourage non-coders to take part. We hack around the world. So we see a massive diversity of people and ideas. And that's really interesting in terms of the innovations we see being made possible. It's open. We're very open. It's not just telecom app development. We have technologies from all around the landscape, including, for example, Status, which was an Ethereum OS last year. We've had Carrefour, which is a supermarket chain, being one of the sponsors. And then the other thing is, because we don't set a challenge, what we ask people to do is think about problems they face in the home, community, work life, and look at how these technologies can help solve those problems. It means actually that TADHack is a really challenging event to take part in. It's not simple, here's the problem, run through, solve it, and you're done. It very much is asking people to think about how they can change the world that they live in. And here's some nice pictures from day one. We had some young hackers there. As you can see in the top left-hand there, that's from Joburg. They were watching the live stream from Belgrade. And we have the sponsors there, and some great food was being served. And here on day two, we have all the pictures. And just give a shout out for the bottom left-hand side there for Alicia, who did an amazing job with South Africa. So by the numbers, we actually ended up with around 580 hackers around the world taking part. We had over 85 hacks created. Now, you're not going to see all those hacks on the YouTube because we had to actually go through a down selection process. And over that weekend, over 130 hours of video was created. So we were busy. So let's get down to the location winners. So let's kick off with Belgrade, and I will hand over to Ivan. And Ivan, let me know when you need me to change a slide. Oh, you're muted at the moment. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so this is all the participants, so we can move on to next slide. Okay, these are our winners. They're called Maheri, and their hack was literally a hack, something that any developer can do probably in a month and have it fully featured. And it's all about scheduling notifications based on either ETA or distance to your destinations when you're traveling. So you can have your relatives or friends notified when you are arriving, say 30 minutes prior you arrive, when you're traveling. And that is something that is that we really liked. We like the presentation, and we really like the fact that it is like a true hack. We can move on. Okay, these are our second runners. And they had a similar idea, and we also liked that one. Their idea was more focused on security of either children or elderly, and their business model needs a little bit more craft, but in essence, it is a good idea, and presentation was awesome, so they won a second place. We can move on. And this is third place winners for Belgrade. These are the guys that made some let's say event aggregator. So you are now with their hack, you are able to go to their portal, see aggregated events that you can be interested in, subscribe, and then when anything changes about that event, say maybe the traffic is big, so you need to come earlier, or the event is postponed or something like that, you can be notified through SMS or voice. And it's also a fun hack, and we also liked it. So that's our third place. Okay, this
and I can say that. It's thank you to the Telesign team. It's, as I mentioned when you guys first stood up to run TADHack Belgrade, the first event is always the hardest. So well done, guys.
Thank you.
So moving on, I just briefly mentioned to Berlin, there was just one team in Berlin, but actually they did an amazing hack, and we're going to hear from them later. But I just wanted to say thanks to VO Networks and Automat for all their hard work in putting TADHack Berlin together. Moving on, so we have TADHack Chicago. On the winners, we have Scandrop. They won the location prize, and on either side, the people with the gray hair, we have Professor Carol Davids and Warren Bent, who are key to making TADHack Chicago possible. And Scamdrop is a really interesting one, a service catered towards businesses with large call volume to help them grow the business, to deal with fraudulent calls. And that was using Simwood was one of the resources that they used. We then have the hSenid Mobile prize. So hSenid Mobile were a location sponsor. So they sponsored TADHack Chicago, and they had a prize there. And it's actually high school students won with U10s, which was actually based on some discussions they had with one of their teachers who'd recently had a heart attack. So this is an app that helps dieting, food tracking, and it was really well professionally put together and pitched as well. So well done to the team. Again, thanks to Illinois Tech, the Real-Time Communications Labs, and of course, hSenid Mobile for all their hard work. And I just showed there the picture of Carol and Warren, and they were watching the live streams through the day. Having the live streams between the different hacks taking place really helps connect them together. Now we have a lot of prizes to announce here for Johannesburg, so let me be brief. Again, it's all up on the weblog. The overall winner for the $1,000 prize was Team 1632, and their solution was allowing telecom companies to use communities to help deal with tower-based vandalism, which is a significant issue in a lot of African countries. So that was very interesting to see how they were doing that. So well done to that team. Then MTN had their first prize to the Igniters. For the sake of time, I'm just going to quickly run through these just so you see the number of winners that MTN created. They had close to 250 people at the hackathon. They also had a MTN Rising Star Award. They had, of course, lots of other vouchers. Reportica, which was a very interesting hack won some vouchers there. They also, IBM were giving out vouchers to the Purple Turtles. Then just won some vouchers as well. Here Technologies was one of the location sponsors, and Chow Hero won one of their prizes. They also had a prize for the most active tweeter, which I thought was really cool. And yes, she was tweeting a lot. TCS were one of the local sponsors there as well. And you can see some of the prizes that they were handing out. Huawei, again, was a local sponsor, and they were giving out devices. They had Best IoT Project. Huawei also had some smartphone projects there. And overall, you can see there was a lot of people taking part in the TADHack Johannesburg event. So well done to everybody there. And I was very proud that we were able to get one of the global sponsors, Simwood, down there just to see how intense a Johannesburg hackathon really is. Moving on to London. London winners, we have E. Francesco. This was Istvan and Matthias. And there was a event organization assistant. There was rabbitdesk.ai. So that was interesting hack, which was focused on recruitment analytics. We then have Time Journey, and this was telling a story over elapsed time. They won the joint second prize. We then have Who Calls Me with Steve and Lily, and that was inbound call, reputation scoring. SimCube by Matt and Yingyi, and this was a scalable Simwood service implementation using Kubernetes. So that was really interesting to see. And thanks again to Rob and Niall for all their hard work in making TADHack possible. Then we have Popayán, which is run by Cluster Creatic. Their winners there, first place was to Hackmons, and this was for helping the homeless. We then have super developers. They used Telesign, and then we have GPT software. And again, very interesting hack. So it's really interesting to see the work that they did. Again, thanks to Cluster Creatic and the whole community that they've built around Popayán. It's amazing to see what they've achieved. Then, moving on, we have the Netherlands. Automaton was the winner there. And then we have Sustainabin won their second prize. And again, thanks to KPN API Store, SpeakUp, who's been with us throughout, and Appiology. So some great hacks coming out through all the locations. So what I would now like to do is to hand over to the global winners. So Natalie, handing over to you. Would you please introduce your winners?
Sure. Yeah, so if you want to move on to the next slide, yeah. So our first place winner, we chose Automaton, and they used our voice APIs to trigger acceptance calls whenever a user submitted their payment. So they used some NFC solutions to build this in, so when you're traveling around, you don't have to use your roaming data. So we awarded them $1,000. And then our second place team was from Chicago, and they were the U10s team. So they used our SMS APIs to build a communications feature to help people with healthy eating and dieting, and also to for communicating with each other. And then our third place, they were TechBuddy. So these guys, they made a fun app, we thought. So they used our voice APIs again, and they want to connect geniuses with each other based on their intellect level. So it matches everybody through a phone call with that.
It was a funny one.
It was funny.
Yeah, I think one other point is Will and Dechen, they arrived after lunch on Sunday.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, we'd like to take part in the hackathon. And it's like, okay. But what amazed me is in that 90 minutes, they would create the hack. So that was, I think, just shows how quick and easy you can prototype stuff using VoIP Innovations API. So well done for that, Natalie.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Excellent.
So congrats to all the winners.
Absolutely. That was great. Thank you. Moving on to Telesign. Over to you, Ivan.
Yes, these are again the same winners. Comparing all the hacks that I've been looking at today, I think this one is like a really good trade-off between value for the buck, and again the whole notion of this being actual hack that is pretty easy and neat and only depends on the client side, not on anything else, was the main reason why we choose Maheri for the global win. And then we can move on to the next slide. Yeah, the second place was the software that kind of connects experts with customers that needs expertise, and it is like I would say a good business idea, because on one side we have all this general knowledge, something like conferences, internet, Wikipedia, all the materials that you can learn on your own. And on the other side of the spectrum, you have personal consultants that are able to come into the company and help you out. And then somewhere in between, there should probably exist a platform that is just about customized for you as you need. But then again, it is highly available. And I think there is a gap in the market there. And I think this idea has a potential to fill that gap. We can move on. Yeah, this is our third prize winner. It is basically a fantasy game, which is interactive, and it is based on SMS. What I liked about that one is that it basically doesn't need any setup effort from the end user. So basically, you can just start playing your game on your phone right here, right now, and that's something that is really I really valued that one, and it's also pretty effortless to support it on the server side, and it's really like a neat, simple idea, and you can get some cool entertainment in a matter of days.
Absolutely,
So
I found it to be a very geek hack.
yeah, very geeky.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ivan.
No
Handing
problem.
over to Simon. Oh, you're on mute, Simon. There
Sorry
you
about
go.
that. I'm also
No
on
worries.
LTE. Sorry if I drop out a bit. The first thing I wanted to say is thanks for having us. This is the first time we've sponsored TADHack, and we were frankly blown away. It was like having swarms of locusts herding all around your APIs. It was a real baptism of fire, but absolutely phenomenal. And we've had local teams in Johannesburg. They pulled 38 hours straight and they went for a beer. So I'm really proud of them. Berlin, London, and I was over here in Chicago. So thank you to everyone. We've learned a lot, and to that end, if you've got any feedback on our resources, we'd love to hear it. Email us at bounty@simwood.com. And there may well be some Amazon vouchers flying around for useful contributions. And we've also met some amazing minds, frankly. We are hiring, so jobs@Simwood is the email address to reach out to there. So moving on to what I'm supposed to be saying, the global prizes. We had loads of choice. There was, I think, something like 20 hacks, excluding all of the early ones in Johannesburg that were using the Simwood APIs. A lot of them were just using us for SMS, two-way SMS. And I gave a few hints in the intro video as to what we were looking for, and some of you really embraced that. Notably, the German entry, where they built a fantastic solution for two-way communication using temporary numbers that could be disposed of simply with an SMS message. Really polished and working solution. So that gets our headline prize. But if you could move on. Thanks, Alan. Now this one, I don't know if it even made the video stream, because they dropped out quite early in the selection in Johannesburg because, frankly, as I understand, they got so excited about the technology that they ran out of time and didn't do too much of their pitch. But my guys on the ground saw what they'd done, and they'd used lots of our WebRTC technology, and we were really encouraged by what they'd achieved. So we just wanted to give a little $100 shout out to Black Panther and thank those guys. If you can move on, thank you. Another one that really appeals to our values out of London was the ability to screen incoming calls. So these guys were using our webhooks for incoming call notifications, and then they were dynamically reconfiguring the config of the number based on what the user wished to do. However, that feature isn't available in our API yet, so they hacked it and came up together with quite a creative workaround. Sorry, I'm on the wrong slide, aren't I, Alan?
No. I moved ahead. So you were on the right slide. I then sort of like jumped ahead because I thought you were about to talk about the API they built to do it as well.
Yeah, no. So I'm still on call. Who calls me? So yeah. So congratulations to Steve and Lily. They win one. I don't know whether we got first, second, third. They win one of our global prizes, $400 for Who Calls Me. We're very impressed with that. If you could now move on, Alan, that'd be great. Thank you. But the other thing that Steve and Lily also did right early on, bear in mind London was one of the earliest TADHacks to get going in time zone terms, was they wrote a JavaScript library to consume the Simwood API. And that formed the basis of a number of other hacks, obviously many in London because they were local to them writing it, but there was a few other people that picked up on it in our Slack channel and consumed it. So we wanted to give them a shout out for creating something that was behind so many other hacks and facilitated so many other people doing great things. We could move on, thank you. And finally, the SimCube solution, which was pulling together the Simwood API and Kubernetes to orchestrate the scaling of a VoIP service, which was a really impressive solution. However, similarly to the JavaScript API, Matt and Winne spent a lot of time doing an awful lot of work behind the scenes to create open API frameworks that I'm not sure if they went as far as other people using them in their hacks, but they certainly put a lot of work in the background beyond what you could simply see in their hack, which was itself impressive. So we have a $400 prize for them. And I think that concludes my list. So thank you again to everybody.
Excellent. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Ivan. Thank you, Natalie. It was an intense weekend. We've managed to survive it and come out with a lot of hacks, innovation, and excitement. So I look forward to seeing you all again in October 2020. Again, thank you so much. Take care.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.